Tribe, how you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I hope you like this video. This is Claus season 5, episode 3. Ooh, I had to get it together. What was it, 4? Episode 5. Season 5, episode 3. Anyway, so we pick up with Desna trying to figure out how to recover after Uncle Daddy done stole her money. Now, she actually taps into the toy company. Remember we talked about that in the last episode where, and she has a toy party. She invites the lady over, and basically she invites her over so she can pick her brain and understand this whole, multi-level faceted situation, pyramid scheme type situation. And so she breaks it down for Desna and explains how it works. You're at the top. You have people work for you. And the more people you recruit, the more of a cut you get off of what they bring in. And Desna was like, yep, that's what we're going to do. She said, the woman told her, this company started with a $100,000 loan. And now it's a $5 million business. And so Desna was like, I am in and sold. So she, comes up with the idea that they're going to do nail parties, at home manicure, pedicure, pamper parties. And of course, in the meantime and in between time, we know what's inside those nail kits, right? So we see her and Jen go to a bank to get a loan. And Jen is on the paperwork as the vice president of the company. And the guy says, listen, y'all have the loan as long as she decides to co-sign. Because your credit ain't good, her credit ain't that great, but together we can make it happen at a 21% interest rate. And so Jim was like, that sounds pretty predatory. Like, that's kind of high. He was like, well, it's only for 6 months, and then it fluctuates. She was like, up or down. Now, he never tell her whether it went up or whether the interest rate went up or the interest rate went down. But he was like, listen, I can give you your $100,000, but this is what you have to sign off on. So Desna and Jen talk about it, and of course Desna was like, listen, I want the loan, but I don't want you to do nothing you're not comfortable with. And Jen was like, I want to make this happen. I want us to make it work, and I'm all in. Desna told her, like, this is serious, this is a big deal, but it's a risk, but it's high risk, high reward, So baby, they signed the paperwork, and you already know that that's a recipe for disaster. But baby, we'll get back to that, honey. We will get back to that. So while this is going on, Uncle Daddy and Bryce has said he done found a buyer for the patches that they have, that he had found somebody that wants to buy the whole thing in bulk. And Ann is a little leery. Ann is like, you need to be careful with that. Like, somebody that wants to buy our whole supply, either A, is a cop, or B, they're buying it to resell. So she was like, yeah, it's great, but you need to be careful and make sure that they're not putting our stuff back, like, reselling what they just paid us for. And so we see Bryce meet with the woman, and at first I was like, okay, she does look like she might be a cop. And when he asked her if she's a cop, she never really gives him a straight answer. She was like, a cop? Me? No, I don't like the cops. And I felt like she didn't come right out and say no, but I guess it was close enough. But she tested it and everything to make sure that it was legit. And she said, I'll have the money next time. I really just wanted to set up this meet to see if you were legit. Because the last time, she said, my family is mad at me now because the last time I screwed it up. And we're getting ready to take a long trip. And I need to make sure that that this is legit. And he was like, okay. He said, what kind of family is this? And she was like, oh, we're just, a group of, a big family people. That he was like, oh, you're like a hippie, like some hippies. And she was like, something like that. I said, okay. Now, while this is going on, Polly is out with her Baron, and they're out having lunch. And Kim rolls up on her and interrupts their lunch, and she's like, "You are being really rude." And he was like, "So what? What do you like? I need to talk to you." And she was like, "This can wait. Like, I can't talk to you right now. Like, I know you see me on a whole date." And Ken is being really rude to the Baron, right? And he's disrespectful to the Baron and to Polly. And baby, the Baron ends up they look like they get ready to fight. The Baron ends up knocking Ken down with his cane, child. And so they walk off. But one of the women that works at the food truck comes over to help him up, and of course, she's like a vision, an angel coming to save him type of thing, right? So we see Desna got her whole We see Desna have a meeting where she done call all her friends and family, people that they thought could be, you know, good consultants, and she gives them the pitch. I mean, she gives them the whole sales pitch about how they can make so much money and make their own hours and this, and this, and that. And of course, they all sign up to be consultants, and baby, it's rolling right now. This is one woman that Jen has been working with, and we found out that she's in an abusive relationship, and her husband is addicted to gambling, and so money keep coming up missing. Now, I don't mean no harm, but at the time, in my mind, I was thinking, this probably ain't the best idea. A woman whose husband steals her money and spends up all the money probably ain't the best recruit for what y'all trying to do, but, you know, they looking for recruits, so, you know, it is what it is, child. Now, Desna meets up with Dr. Ken and tells him she needs her money, and she a little rude with him. She was like, I mean, not need her money, but need her pills. Like, well, you know, I got the money, you need to get my pills. And he was like, I put the order in. They'll be back tomorrow. She was like, all right, well, you better make it happen. Like, she was real nasty to him. So then she gets to the shop, and, you know, her delivery man is there waiting for her. You know, they get to flirting and doing what they doing, and she told him she would hit him up later, you know. Now, Uncle Daddy, he happy about Bryce, but he is still pissed off about Dr. Ken. And he asked Ann, what should I do about Dr. Ken? And Ann was like, we'll handle it. You know, we'll take care of it. So, Dr. Ken is outside, and he sees Ann trying to pick up this recliner. And he ends up helping her, and here come Uncle Daddy. And, you know, Uncle Daddy acted like everything is everything, like he ain't still mad at Ken. And they put the chair in the truck, and then in Ann's van, and then basically they end up keep putting Dr. Ken in the van. And Uncle Daddy beats him up, and then ends up they got him in a cage. And Dr. Ken, he's like, you know, you double crossed me with Desna, and I'm not playing that game with you. He was like, I want to break you. He was like, I apologize. What else you want me to do? He was like, I'm going to break you. And, you know, Uncle Daddy beating him and water hosing him and basically just torturing him, right? Now, while this is going on, the business is doing well, right? Everybody, they got their situation going on. The business is doing really good. But then Desna gets this phone call from one of her consultants. Baby, they done had an OD. So Desna needs to show up and show out. She ends up reviving the woman with a defibrillator and reviving the man. Excuse me, I think it was a man. Reviving the man. And this sort of freaks Jen out a little bit. And Desna was like, Jen, like, you know what we doing. You know what business we in. Like, you can't expect all the highs and none of the lows, girl. At the end of the day, we dealing drugs. It's going to be some shit, okay? So Desna talks to her little, you know, youngin', and, you know, because the business is doing good, the money's coming in, and they, you know, they talking, and he's letting her know, listen, money funny, money kind of tight, you know, I might have to figure out another way to do some things. And she said, well, I might have something I can help you with that. You know, I might be able to help you out with that a little bit. We might, you know, I got a lot of deliveries. We could use your truck. And he was like, what we delivering? She was like, you ain't got to worry about all that. Are you interested? So he's like, of course, you know, all right, cool. Yeah, you know. Now, later on in the episode, we see her giving him some money. So, you know, he just took her up on her offer because she's paying him, right? Now, down to the pregnancy yoga, Dean is with Ann and helping Ann out. And the yoga instructor is leading the class, and she starts talking about the placenta. And she starts giving them all the breakdown of the placenta and how great the placenta is. And Dean is actually trying to challenge her. And y'all know how Dean is. He gets loud and he's walking around. And he said that's not true. And he's calling this woman a liar. And of course, Ann is mortified by it. But she takes it all in stride. You know, she stays calm. You know, she doesn't get all upset and start yelling at him or telling him, how dare you call me a liar. She actually, you know, was talking to him very calm. So later on, he comes back and she said, you back to, you know, tell me how wrong I am. And he said, no, I'm actually here to apologize. He said, I went back to the literature and the articles I read on the placenta, and I realized that they're outdated, and it's my apologies, right? And he said, she's like, yeah, probably written by some old white guy, no doubt, you know. So he actually gives her the articles that he read, which was a lot of articles. And so he tells her, he said, you have a nice face. How old are you? She said 62. She said, you have a nice face too. Then he said, well, would you be interested in having coffee with me or a smoothie? He said, and I'll pay. I have my own money. And she said, I would. And later on in the episode, he does actually bring her um, a drink, and they get to talking, right? And I said, okay, then getting you a little older woman. Okay, your sister getting her a younger man, and you getting an older woman. Okay. Now back down to the shop, they are counting their money, and when they realize that old girl came up short, the chick with the abusive husband, she done came up short, right? So Jen is like, she's short. She's short about $500. She said, but I know she good for it. Desna was like, no, she not. She said, no, you gonna get my money. She said, and she not getting no more product until she gives us our money. So when she shows up, Jen is trying to talk to her, and Jen is like, listen, girl, I know you must have made an honest mistake, but your money was a little short. And she said, oh yeah, my husband, he took it, and I'm so sorry, but I'll make it up. And Jen starts kind of getting real soft on her or whatever, and Desna is like, and so Jen has to kind of get gangster with her, talking about, well, you need to give us our money, and we need our money now, so you need to go make it happen. And of course, Kim, that's her name, she got all nervous, and she ran off. And then Jen felt really bad, and Jen keeps telling Desna, you don't know the whole story. You don't know the whole story. There's more to this story. And Desna was like, I don't care what it is. Like, I don't care what's going on, but she gonna give us our money. So, Kim ends up coming back, and Kim ends up telling them, listen, not only do I not have the $500 I owe you, but this man done stole all of my money, and I don't have nothing. She said, I'd actually had a good party, and I had made up the money, but now he done stole it. And so now Desna is really like, we're going to go get that money. So they end up going to the woman's house and basically trying to take anything that they can sell. And the longer they're there and the more stuff they pick up, the more nervous Kim gets. And Jen, again, keeps trying to tell Desna, listen, there's more to this story. Like, you can't keep pushing her, because Desna's like, girl, man up, get over it. If he's abusive, leave him. And she even says, listen, I done been through a lot in my life too, okay? And you just got to get over this. You got to get away from him. And by the time we finish selling all this stuff, you'll be able to pay us back and get yourself a little nest egg, and you can do whatever you need to do, right? Now, while they're doing this, of course, the man shows up, and Desna is egging Kim on to do something about it. Desna is egging Kim on, like, well, get him. Like, you gonna let him talk to you like that? You gonna let him treat you like that? So, baby, Kim starts beating this man with a with a golf club. And somebody actually ends up calling the police, and Kim gets taken away in handcuffs, which, of course, now Jen is pissed off at Desna, because Jen is like, I tried to tell you, you pushed her, you did too much. Now, while this is going on, Bryce is making his sale down to the hippies, right? And he sells this woman the whole pack, and she has the money. She gives him the money, and he gets to meet some of her family, and, they seem like really nice people, according to Bryce. So Bryce goes back to Uncle Daddy and Ann, and he tells them, I made the drop, I got the money, here's the da-da-da-da-da, the boo-da-boo-da-boo. Come to find out, it is a cult, and they have a suicide pact. And Uncle Daddy and Ann was like, you've never heard of these people before? He was like, yeah, they tried to have a mass, undeathing of themselves before, and it didn't work, and they must be trying to do it again. He's saying they're going to do it with our patches. And Ann was like, they're going to be able to trace it back to us, like, if, the police are going to have the evidence. So they end up going back to where it is, and of course, they are all dead. So they end up having to snatch all the patches, and hopefully they ain't forget one or whatever. And of course, now Uncle Daddy is right back being angry with Bryce, like, see, I knew you couldn't handle it. He was like, you just need to stay over there while me and Ann take the lead. Like, I see that you tried, but you screwed it up, and I don't have time for this. Like, you stand over there while we handle business. And so, of course, this is pissing Bryce off, because he's trying to, all this has been about him trying to impress Uncle Daddy all along, right? Now, Polly and the Baron done invited Polly to a ball, and of course she done went, and she's still doing her best British, accent, and they're walking through the ball. And come to find out that the Baron is terminally ill, and this is a ball for an organization he's a member of for people who have terminal diseases. And he said, well, I have a couple of more years left, but basically, yeah, he said my biggest wish is just to make sure that my money is going to go to the right places after I pass. And of course, Polly was like, oh, I'm sure it will. But what Polly doesn't bank on is the fact that this man already has 3 children. One of his children, one of which he was at this ball. She actually organized this ball, and she pulls Polly aside and lets Polly know, listen, I'm not gonna let some 2 bit trailer park trash come in here and take my money, okay? My inheritance is my inheritance, and you better not get in my way, or there's gonna be some problems and consequences, right? So there's that. Down to the salon, Virginia's new protege, Georgia, she's not doing so well, but Virginia is pressing her really, really hard, right? She's pressing her really, really hard. Um, and the girl actually ends up snapping on Virginia, like, listen, you doing too much, you hovering, you making me nervous, you making it worse. And Virginia ends up having to come back and apologize to her. She said, listen, I was hard on you because I thought that, because Desna is hard on us, and I thought I had to be hard on you, because if you screw up, then it's going to come back and be a reflection on me. Desna's going to come back on me. So she was like, I'm sorry, but don't leave. Because she was like, I'm leaving. I'm going back to the strip club. Like, I don't need this. And she was like, please don't leave. Like, please don't leave. So they make up, whatever. Everything is cool. Now, while Dr. Ken is locked up in this cage that Uncle Daddy done left him in, he's trying to get out. He's working his way, trying to get a nail out of the socket. And he while he's doing this, he sees a vision of, I guess, future Ken. I don't know. And he basically tells him, listen, you need to man up and stop being a punk all your life. Like, you letting these people lead you around. Like, this isn't the person you wanted to be. This isn't the person you thought you were going to be. And you need to stop, basically stop being a punk all your life. Now, Desna and Jen they're at each other's throats, right? Jen is really pissed off because she feels like Desna really pushed Kim into doing what she did, and now Kim is in jail. So they end up going down to bail her out, but when they get to the police station, her husband had already got down there to bail her out. He's dropped the charges, but now Kim done turned on them and was like, this is all your fault. Leave us alone. Don't contact me no more. And he was like, yeah, leave. You leave us alone. Y'all stay out our life. And so Jen is even more upset with Desna because she was like, I told you this. I told you not to push her. I told you were doing too much. And they end up getting into a really big fight right in front of the police station. They get back to the salon. They still fighting. One of their consultants comes in there and lets them know, listen, I have, I got 7 people that wants to get in on it. And of course, Desna is like, yes, bring it on. And Jen is like, oh, hell no. Like, we need to regroup. Like, we've had, we had an OD. We had the situation with Kim. Like, we need to figure this out. And so Desna is telling Jen, listen, you can't be weak in this business. Like, this business is for the strong. And if you're going to be weak, then you need to get it together. And Desna is like, and Jen is like, I'm not weak. But everybody don't have to be a mean, hard bitch like you either. And Desna was like, listen, if you're going to be in this, then you need to be gangster. If not, then I don't really need you. Like, you can roll out. So, and she's assembling her baseball team from jail, and they're going to be the new corner people now that Bryson, then messed up and Uncle Daddy done pushed him to the side. So Ann is now, the right-hand man, and Bryce is on the outside looking in. And I'm pretty certain that Bryce ain't happy about that. Bryce ain't happy about that. Now, Uncle Ken, he gets out and he calls Desna and Uncle Daddy into a meeting. Uncle Daddy told my son, you supposed to be in the cage. Ken was like, I got out. But basically, Ken told Uncle Daddy and Desna, he said, listen, let me explain something to y'all. Both of y'all need me, okay? So, Desna, I'm going to be working with Uncle Daddy, and you're going to have to get over it. Uncle Daddy, I'm going to be working with Desna. You need to get over it. He told Desna he needed a raise, and he said, and if that's going to be a problem, then guess what? I don't have to be here. I have options, okay? And y'all can find yourself another doctor that's going to put up with all this bullshit. He said, I ain't going to get in the middle of y'all little turf war. And if it's going to be a problem, I snitched before, I can snitch again. Now, the snitching part, Dr. Ken, you might have went a little too far. You might have pushed it a little too far. And then as he's leaving, he sees old girl from the food truck. He asks her on a date. She says yes. Because the other thing his future kin told him when he was locked in the cage was he need to get over Polly. Polly don't love him. She never did, and he need to get over it. So anyway, and I don't agree. I think Polly did love him. But anyway, moving on. That was the episode. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Drop it in the comments. Peace.